Hey everyone, what's going on? Dave Kettner here again with another video about silver. I want to talk to you about today silver. Why silver? Why not gold? Why not stocks? Why not keep our money in the banks? All about protecting your assets with silver and why we want to do silver instead of other things. So I'm going to really get into that today. And today was actually a really good day for silver, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. Today actually is March 22nd, 2023, and that is not so much going to be relevant besides the fact that I just want to talk about what happened today with the silver price, with the market in general. And also I want to, again, everything about silver though is going to be going back, way back into ancient times, and what has silver done as far as growth, what's been worth, and compared to gold, which is very important, that I want you to see some historical ratios as well. Now, do realize what I'm going to be sharing with you here, as I always, when I talk about silver or talk about gold, I talk about investing in general. I am not an investment advisor. I'm not your advisor. I'm sharing with you what I believe, why I am investing in silver, and why I'm just telling you about these things. So just take this as not investment advice, but just things that I'm doing and for entertainment value and however you want to use that. Okay. So with that said, let me switch over to my computer here. You'll see this is the market today. Now, today you'll see that it was consistent here. This is the stock market. And then we had a Fed day today where the Fed came out and they actually they're raising interest rates 25 basis points. And, they've been raising that, trying to say that they're taking care of inflation and whatnot. But that's not why the market tanked here. It went up initially, but as the Federal Chairman Powell started talking about what's been going on with the banking collapse recently. And one question I was listening, again, I don't like listening to the news or whatever, but I want to hear how the market was going to respond when Chairman Powell was talking. And one of the questions came to him. They said, as far as protection and bank accounts, and are you guaranteeing that we have this protection, having our money in the banks? And he did not really answer that question. He kind of went, well, as I said in the thing, he did not guarantee that the Fed is going to back up any kind of banking collapse moving forward. Okay. And with that, pew, the market started taking like crazy. And as you can see right there, it just went down, down, down right into the close. And it went from positive all the way down. NASDAQ dropped, S&P dropped. Okay. But what didn't drop was gold and silver. Okay, here's the chart currently for silver right now. Actually, it just reset already because it started the next day. But if I come over here to, I think let's see, I have one here that shows the silver chart from today. And maybe I don't because it already reset on us today. But it was up 3% today. In fact, if I go back here and we just do the last 5 days, we can see how Wednesday looked today. So we were here at 22.5, and then boom, it went all the way up to 23.15, I think is what I saw there before it dropped a little bit, and it's starting up here now at the end of the day, starting up trading overseas, right? So anyway, I see now it's 23. That's a nice jump, right? We went up significantly today, and gold, as you see too, has been going up. If I do the last 5 days, you'll see that the Wednesday, what it looked like today, and it was also up, not as much as silver, but it was up here from 1941, somewhere around there, and went all the way up to 1974, 75, somewhere in there. So why, right? Because when the market is tanking like it did today, and people are worried about banking failures, they're worried about inflation, they're looking to get their money into safer places, right? So for me, and this is what I've been talking about with you guys, putting it into hard assets like silver, in my opinion, is a smart investment, all right? And it is a wise thing to do, and it's also a wise thing to diversify. It's very important that you are diversifying. You're not in any one thing. If you're all in stocks, not good, right? It might work for a little bit. What happens if the market tanks and that's everything you have? You could be in trouble. And I wouldn't say put it all in gold and silver either, right? Because if that doesn't grow that fast, other investments could. So diversify is always a good thing. But what I'm worried about, as I mentioned in my last video, is a banking collapse. We see the writing on the wall. We see a storm that is coming, right? And when you see an oncoming storm, you're going to want to take shelter, right? And if you're not doing anything right now, you could be stuck there getting in the middle of a storm and your money could just disappear, right? I don't want that for you. And I don't want you to trust our government either because, well, you think about that if you really want to put full trust in your government. I'd say you might want to put some trust into things that you're doing to take care of saving your wealth just in case. Have some cash on hand, have some silver on hand for trading if needed, but for long-term stuff, I am putting stuff in silver, and also I'm going to show you how to use your working capital based on silver, so you're not just having all your working capital in the banks, all right? Now, something I want to show you here is the price history of silver. So, and why silver over gold. But first, if you see here, silver performance, you'll see that we have some today's, the 30 days, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 20 years, all right? So, if you're just looking at today and 30 days, that's not that much time, but you'll see silver has got up 2.6% the last 30 days. Gold's been up 5.83%. You're like, oh, well, maybe gold's better. I'm going to show you in a little bit why I think silver's better. But notice the returns. Everything's positive except for the last year, right? But over time, so when you're doing things over a long period of time, silver over the last 5 years is up 35, almost 36%. Gold is almost 44%, right? 20 years though, look at silver, 412.51%. All right. That's amazing. Would you take that return over 20 years to 4x your money? Most people would, especially to have it in a conservative, what people can usually consider a conservative investment. Gold, even more. It's gone up almost 490% over the last 20 years. All right. So you're like, well, I don't know. Look at those numbers. I might want to be in gold. All right. I'm going to share with you why silver. All right, now you could have some gold. I wouldn't say no to it, but I'm going to show you that silver, in my opinion, has much more upside than gold. All right, also, silver is good to have some silver on hand. 1 ounce, whether you have a coin, whether you have a small bar, is much easier to trade at $23, $25, whereas an ounce of gold being $1,900, $2,000 is not as easy to trade. Right? So it's easier to hold for long-term wealth, but if you need it, say, to get by, if we have a dollar collapse or whatnot, it is good to have some silver. You can actually pay with silver. Back in the day, that's how they paid things, right? If you go back here, now this is the historic silver to gold, right? The ratio, and I'll put this website in the description here if you want to take a look. Any of these websites I'll put there for you to access as well. Back in ancient times, so back in ancient Egypt. Right? You'll see you can actually 1 ounce of gold could buy 2.5 ounces of silver. So that's very close way back when. Now we're talking a long time ago, but notice here as I scroll up here and we go back, getting to from BC to AC, right? It's still 1 ounce of gold to 10 ounce. 1 ounce of gold would buy 10 ounces of silver. So a 1 to 10 ratio. Here was 1 to 13, 1 to 12. We come in here to Roman times, 1 to 14.5. Even Rome around 189 BC was 1 to 10. And Julius Caesar time, notice it came down, it was even 1.75. 1 ounce of gold would only buy 7.5 ounces of silver. So check this out. We can go through medieval times, and over here, it never got really above 14 there, as you see. And then we come in here to a little bit more modern times, the last 600-700 years, right? And you'll see that, still 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1 to 15, 1 to 16. Even as we come into the 1900 time, we're only talking about in 1890, 1 to 18, 1 to 20, right? But look what happens here. In 1932, all of a sudden, the ratio exploded. It went from only 1 ounce of gold would buy 75 ounces of silver, which means that the ratio went much wider, whereas historically it was always 1 to 10, 1 to 15 tops. What happened, right? Well, we can talk about that another time. But notice, look, it jumped all the way up to in 1940, 1941. The start of the World War II was going on. 1 to 100, and that's the most we've seen. Even 1991, we see that it was 1 to 100. All right. With that being said, 1980 it was 1 to 16 again. See the fluctuation here. All right, so we know that 1 to 2.5 was the best way back in ancient times. 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1 to 20 was kind of the average, I would say. And then the most we've seen is 1 to 100. All right, where are we now is what we want to ask ourselves, right? So if we look at the price of silver right now, let's just round it up to $23. Gold, today, right now, is let's say 1972. So I have a calculator over here. Let's take 1972 divided by the price of silver, which is 23. That will give us our ratio of what 1 ounce of gold can buy in silver. And we're at just about 86. So let's say the ratio is 1 ounce of gold to 86 ounces of silver. So if we look at that history, we know that we're on the higher end of that. All right. In 1990, what did I say, 1980? 1991, we're at 1 to 16. 1980, we were 1 to 16. All right. If we get back to historically the ratio of what silver to gold has been historically, then wouldn't that tell you that we have a much more upside in silver than we do in gold? That would be correct, right? If we historically have only gone to 1 to 100, right, it's a better chance, in my opinion, that we go lower in the ratio than higher, because from 86 to 100, there's only 14 points there, whereas 86 all the way down to 10, 15, 20, right, is a much bigger option drop. So let's say even if we went back to what the price was, let's look at that price again. Where are we at over here? In 1980. All right, and we went all the way down to 16, 1 to 16 again. All right, I'm gonna make this easy math. Let's just call it 20. Let's say the ratio can get back to 1 ounce of gold equals 20 ounces of silver. Right now, we're at 1 to 85, right? So how many times does 20 go into 85? Or, we could do a 16 too, but let's do 20. 85 divided by 20 equals 4.25. Or if you want to do 16 and, do the actual numbers for what they are, 85 divided by 16 is 5.3. So somewhere between 4 to 5x we're talking about here. So just if we can get to the historical value of what gold and silver ratio usually is, even I think that they said historically they should be right around 40 for the 1900s even, as far as what we've been the last century. Even if we did that, we're talking at least a 2x increase. All right, but let's say 2 to 5x increase. All right, if you're doubling your money, if silver could double, that would mean 26. And if we're talking 5x, 23 times 5, 115. Now, I know some people think that gold should be valued somewhere around 35,000, right? So let's say gold's at 2,000, at 35,000, oops, if I can do this correctly, 35,000, did an extra zero there, I apologize. Let me go back and do the right one. 35,000 divided by what gold is, let's say 2,000, right? Gold can go up 17.5 more than what it is now. Well, if you just did that times the silver and then 2x it, 4x it, 5x it, can you see why I'm excited about silver? I mean, some of you guys that aren't good with math, all right, that's pretty easy to understand. All right, we have some room to grow here. And that's saying if we just maintain historic things, not talking about where we are with inflation right now, not talking about what we have possible banking collapse issues, not talking about the things that are going on in the world. All right, I'm just talking about historical stuff. You start putting all these things together, and now maybe you see why I'm excited about silver. All right. Anyway, I don't want this video to go on too long. I just want to give you a historical recap of what we have seen, gold and silver, and I wanted you to see why I'm excited about gold. Now, what I'd like you to do here, I'm going to have this link in the description. It's going to take you, this is going to be a different video that I shared in my last video that I did. Go to this one. This just talks about the end of the world as we know it, and to learn how this can help you, this what I'm sharing with you today, can help you survive and provide for your family in times of crisis that could possibly happen. Now, I don't want you to be fearful. I don't want you to worry, but I want you to be prepared. I want you to be ready in case that rainy day comes, in case more banks go down, in case people make a run on the bank. Just pull their money out. We'll have a run on the banks, and you want to protect yourself. All right. Once you see this video, click on this button right here. This will take you to the page where you can sign up for Liberty Dollar, and this is all about securing your future with LDF Silver. And to use this is the only place where you can, that I've found, where you can actually put your money into silver and still cash it out, have it as liquid as you would have cash in a bank. All right. Once you get signed up, you can go to this page. You'll see as you log in right up here, but you can see down here how the solutions that they have, why they have this, why it's working, and why this is growing like gangbusters, and why I'm so excited to share this with you guys. This is what we're doing, my family and I am sharing it with all my friends and family because this is something that can protect yourself, and I want to make sure that you guys are protected in times of crisis. Not only that, I think it's a great investment, but like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not your advisor, so you take that with a grain of salt, but do know that this is something that I am doing. I'm recommending my friends, people I care about, and I suggest you take a hard look at as well. Also, if you didn't care about the liquidity of moving the funds from your bank account to have it as working, and you just want to do long-term and get the silver to your house, you want to actually have silver at your house and that you own it, you have the hard asset of silver, this is still the cheapest option that I know because they hardly charge anything over spot price. So what you see right now, the spot price came across right there, $23.09. That's what you get your hard cost of silver, all right? And you can have it shipped to your door for just the cost of the shipping. We just got some silver shipped this week, and it was for $15 to have come to my door, and we have the hard asset. In fact, when I get that come in, I'm gonna show you what it looks like, the Liberty Dollar, and I've heard great things about it. Look forward to sharing that with you. So anyway, Dave Kettner here. I hope you guys enjoy this, the historical information about silver to gold, why I'm so excited about this, and what you can do to help protect your assets and family. All right, so with that said, you guys, please, if you enjoy this video, please like my video, please subscribe, and I look forward to coming back, and I will have much, much more information coming back here soon. Enjoy. You guys have a wonderful evening or day, wherever you may be, and I look forward to catching you next time. Take care.